digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in, the first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique Suprema. Go, sis.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique Suprema. This show is First Things First, not home turf, not street science. First things first, my first thing. Every single day, giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessings from the Most High, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's a big birthday around here. TGIF, it's Friday. It's Miles Lowe's birthday. It's hip-hop's birthday. What? Leo season. What? Happy birthday, Miles. Man, I hope you have the best birthday ever. You have been just such an instrumental part of KBLA and, well, Michael Baston and all the stuff you've done before that. And what you have 1, 2, 3? 3 albums already?
I got 3 EPs out, yep.
Yeah, 3, and then you got another one coming up.
Yep.
For Virgo season.
Yep, just in time, right in time.
Oh, happy HBD.
Thank you.
Yes.
I feel good today, Dominique. I feel really good.
Well, you look great.
Thank you.
Good to look great on your birthday. Feel great.
You said I still look great?
I said you look good today. You always look good, but you look birthday extra good today.
Okay. Thank you.
So, Miles, I mean, it's got to be weird as a hip-hop artist to have your B-Day fall on hip-hop's B-Day.
You know, I was born on hip-hop's 21st birthday. So hip-hop's first little shot at tequila.
Right. It was you.
First little trip to Vegas.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, and you're from Vegas.
So, but yeah, happy birthday hip-hop as well, of course. Hope hip-hop feels well, 50 years old, strong, still going strong,
still looking
evolving.
good. Hip-hop is still looking good.
Hip-hop still look good, still sound good, still feel good.
Yeah.
Still growing, so yeah.
Yeah, still world domination.
World domination now.
And you know what? I've never claimed to be an expert. I just live the life that I live, which is all surrounded by hip-hop, and that's been such a blessing in so many ways. And guess who our partner in politics is this morning? He sees us every other Friday or somewhere in that vicinity. He is an official KBLA contributor and also the founder and CEO of ES Advisors. Ed Sanders, good morning.
Hey, happy Friday, happy birthday, Miles, happy birthday, hip hop. Good morning to you.
Yeah, so I don't even know what your playlist is like, Ed. We always worry, like we're working, we're on the air, or if we're not working, if we're, celebrating, it's usually in a restaurant or something. We're not at a club. So what's on your hip-hop, 50 years of hip-hop playlist, Ed? Or even if it's not the playlist,
I'm a 50-year-old hip-hop head.
So you're the same age as hip-hop.
Right. I start with like Nas and Jay-Z and then move through the years. I came up on NWA and Cube and Lynch Mob and DJ Quick from sort of the LA region and loved Too Short growing up, loved the Bay Area.
Right.
Definitely represented Cali hip hop when back in the school days. So
right.
Most of my stuff built from there.
Miles, what was the first hip hop that drew you in to the genre?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I gotta think.
Remember, you were a little kid. It was probably James Brown, your mom playing jazz.
So, I mean, it was two different. I'm a clash of two different brands of hip hop. My dad's from Newark, and so he played a lot of the Commons, a lot of the Nas, a lot of the Big L's, a lot of the Little Brothers, a lot of the real lyrical hip hop. My mom's from Pasadena, so she comes playing DJ Quick and Domino, and you know what I mean. So I'm getting a blend of West Coast and East Coast. So I think, but for me, I think the real one that grabbed me, I say Nas, Stillmatic, 2001.
Okay.
So that whole Nas Jay-Z beef was big for me.
And you were like a tiny, but that's dope.
Yeah.
I love that. You got East Coast, West Coast going on the parent side. And of course my parents were not into hip hop because I am older than Miles. And but they, you know, they played like, you know, my mom loves James Brown. Maybe that's where I got that from. And Stevie Wonder. But I think, yeah, so my first hip-hop is early hip-hop, right? Roxanne Shante, yes. That in the message, you know, the songs that told me, like, oh, you can say something with this. You can, you know, clap back, be funny, be sassy, and you can say something. You can, as they say, move the crowd. So, that's, and no matter whether it's as an MC, as a short-lived rap career, or as a radio host, I've been on the mic ever since. And so have you, Miles.
Yes, ma'am. It's not going nowhere. It's not going nowhere.
I mean, I always have a theory. I don't know about you, Ed. I feel like, well, you know, I'm starting to change this. I always felt like when you get to a certain age, you should retire from rapping. But maybe that's wrong. Like, as I see...
No, that's wrong.
As I see, you know, the KRS-Ones and the Jay-Z's, you know, graduate, I think, well, you know what, I don't want... Because I still want to hear them, right? The Chuck D's, we saw had Chuck D at BLM Turn Stand, and he did a great performance. And so I'm starting to... Maybe it's just me that needed to retire. Maybe it's not everybody.
No, look, I'll pick that up, but I don't think they should retire. I think, you know, one of the things that we get with hip hop are these different perspectives, right? And so many of us listen to hip hop as an art form. You learn from it constantly, right? And you learn, and what I love about hip hop is you can see the progression of people's lives.
Yeah,
they mature. They focus on different things, and you know what Jay-Z and Nas may talk about now may or may not appeal to the 18-year-old, but it still appeals to me because you know they're at a point in their life, age-wise, that I can kind of relate to what they're going through.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's some artists like Tupac that just seem to speak to every generation.
Yeah,
young people now still like Tupac, right? And so. And it's worldwide. But that's, you know. So, yeah, I revised my position. You don't have to, only I have to retire. You don't have to retire. I guess when I was younger, I used to think about, you know, how corny people can get when they, when they get out of touch. But then again, if you're a master of the microphone at 20, you know, and you keep doing it, you're going to just be dope when you're 50 or 80. There's a meme going around on the internet on Instagram of Mick Jagger being asked if he could see him. He's like got to be in his early 20s, saying from the Rolling Stones, saying, "Can you see yourself doing this at 60?" And he says yes, and then it cuts to him doing it at 80, and like he's jumping all around and wearing tight pants. And I'm like, why not? If you know, what do you say, Miles?
I look at it as an art form. So, I mean, it's like, imagine telling Prince, oh, you shouldn't still be playing music and creating music at.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm a master at my art form. Kanye West should still be creating music, especially hip-hop, late into his life. I don't think he should stop just because of an age. I don't think that, we would say that to any other genre, so I don't know why hip-hop would be the one.
Yeah, I mean, maybe dance, right? Because you get... you know, your knees or whatever. But that's not even true because my godmother, Blanche Brown, is still teaching dance classes. Yeah, and she's in her 80s.
Right.
So
you still got poets still writing poetry late into the years.
They should, yeah. And speaking of which, hour 3 today, the legendary poet Luis Rodriguez is going to be here in the studio, so make sure you check your YouTubes. You can check it anyway because I got my home turf hat on in honor of hip-hop's birthday. Y'all didn't know I still had that, huh? Unless you listen all the time. You might have seen it. But, of course, for those who don't know, Home Turf is a TV show of which I was the host. It was my first broadcasting job. And it was an early adopter of the whole hip-hop culture. Rest in peace, John Fromer, and shout out to everyone who worked on that. And John was the one who created it, and he's no longer with us. But that's, it's a piece of the pioneering spirit of the Bay Area when it comes to hip-hop, because this was before Yo MTV Raps, before, whatever, 106 and Park, and it was Soul Beat, Clint Soul Beat, the one the show Lunel was on, and then came Home Turf. And Soul Beat was not strictly hip-hop, but it did play some hip-hop. Soul Beat. If you're from the Bay, I'm sure you're smiling right now. And today is the party at the Oakland Museum for the Bay Area Hip-Hop Archives. So many artists are going to be there and being inducted, which means their artifacts will be preserved, right? Some people are giving tapes or videos, posters, all kinds of things, so that the origins of hip-hop won't be lost, and those folks who choose to appropriate or, innovate don't forget where the roots are. So I think that's important. Shout out to Brother Jahi of the Microphone Mechanics. What were you about to say, Ed?
No, I was like, that's great. I was listening to it. Just, that's an incredible event. I love that they are finding ways to maintain and ensure that the hip hop culture stays true to the roots, but stays true to the roots for future generations to see.
Right. So any little kid could go look in, the Oakland Library and find early tapes and posters and photos of Digital Underground, right? And they'll be archived for little kids and scholars alike, and so many more folks, a lot of folks on that list. So I'll be there. I'll be there today. They're actually going to be preserving some of the tapes from my show, Home Turf. So big day, and I know there's celebrations of hip-hop going on all over the country. As usual, we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of, even on hip-hop's birthday, there's a lot of stuff going on around in politics, and Ed is luckily here to help us unpack it. And you're welcome in every hour, 800-920-1580. Call me now, call me later. Just call me. KBLA Talk 1580.
More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Extreme heat can make you very sick and can be deadly. For Californians 65 and over, it's important to have a plan. Ask your healthcare provider if your medications affect your ability to cool down. Know the signs of heat illness and stroke, as well as the location of your nearest cooling center or air-conditioned space. And if you have loved ones over 65, be sure to check in on them on hot days. Learn how to stay safer from extreme heat at heatreadyca.com. Brought to you by the state of California.
Build your drink? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Dominique DePrima for KBLA Talk 1580. Are you worried about your credit score? Well, look, you can rebuild it. There are lots of factors that go into determining your credit score, but one of the most effective ways to improve your score is to consistently pay your bills on time, over time. If you're forgetful about payments, like me, try automating your bill payments. That way all your creditors get paid on time, and you'll have freed yourself of trying to remember. Whatever your financial goals, U.S. Bank Access Commitment Initiatives can help support you in reaching them. Access your financial goals at usbank.com/access. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Gotta stay fresh, ma. Have you visited us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store? For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. This is your dentist. Do me a favor and feel the front of your teeth. How grimy are they? Ugh. It's time for a Crest Pro Health reality checkup. That grime is the buildup of plaque bacteria that can cause cavities in just months. You need to switch to Crest Pro Health. While most toothpaste stop working in minutes, Crest Pro Health's antibacterial fluoride protects for up to 12 hours to stop cavities before they start. So pick some up on the way home. Smile. Crest has you covered.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
You better watch your back, it's so cold. Think you been shining, so act like you don't know. Girls in heat for brothers that got gold. Be the finest gangster. What you don't got is my natural flow. Counting out stacks and macking out rolls. Pushing big whips and packing our chrome. Be the finest gangster.
Follow, I'm like a Lamborghini Green Diablo. Cool VT, it's like DVD when I flow. Feel me, I'm loved like the great late Malik Silly. The one to play your haters hate dearly, so can't hear me. Can't scare me. I abide by the laws of these streets sincerely. A real, the type that can build with you. Verbalize, bring life to a still picture. It's God-given. Been blessed with our Lord's vision, strength and beauty. Truly, my only duty is to dodge prison. Play with me. I'm modest to them strays hit me. Regardless of circumstances, I'ma stay filthy. Dope forever, the lives stay low forever. Cause it's hard to keep them close together. One dependent, no wife, one co-defendant. No forms of weakness, I flow with vengeance.
And you better watch your back, it's so cold.
KBLA Talk 1580. Happy birthday, hip hop. That's Ed Sanders' Walk On Music.
Peace, King. That's a classic.
Yeah, when we come back after news, traffic, and sports, I think we need to hear your walk-on music, Miles. Whatever what's your walk-on music, KBLA delegation? If you're fighting Mike Tyson, or that was a long time ago. If you're just walking center stage doing your thing, what's your walk-on music from hip hop, from 50 years of hip hop? I had to make that decision because of the hip-hop archives thing, and I was like, I was thinking of all these songs that I like now, like, DNA or In My Element would be dope, or then I love Stomp of the Great, like Protect Your Queen, like I wouldn't mind walking on to that, or Final Form, she says, in my final form, in my melanin, but then I said, no, it has to be To Live and Die in LA, because I'm actually on the intro. I have to walk on to that.
Yeah, do you think you would pick a newer song to define your whole spectrum of hip hop?
For me, it's just a feeling.
Wow, okay.
It's just a feeling. It's what I'm feeling right now. That's why I say I ain't like my friend Davey D or POTUS who can tell you what happened in every year and which artist. I probably could if I went back and, paid attention. But for me, it's a feeling. It's just a feeling. And whatever I'm feeling, right then. Of course, probably Roxanne Shante, because when I saw her fierce little attitude on the mic, I was like, I can do that.
I'll probably say something like allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Huck. You know what I mean? Like stadium rap.
Yes,
stadium statement rap.
Yeah, for sure. I could see that.
Do you participate in like the who's in the top 5, top 10 debates? Who's in your top 5?
No, I don't have a top 5 because that's too limiting. There's way too many great talents in hip hop, and they're great for different reasons. You know what I mean?
Of course.
What about you?
But you got to have a pantheon.
I have a pantheon, but it's not 5. It might be about 50. Okay, at least one for every year. What about you, Ed? You got a top 5?
Definitely, I start top
Nas
2.
And Nas.
I go with Jay-Z and Nas at top 2, and then I get into the Pacs and Nipsey Hussle and kind of come down from there. But Pac and Jay-Z and Nas sit at 1 and 2 for me.
Yeah, I mean, just so many great ones. That's why I don't want to have to say, oh, it's 5. But in my pantheon, I'll put those 2. I mean, you got to also look at like game changers, leaders, and what they're building on. Like, for example, to me, modern hip hop, a lot of it is built on Eric B. and Rakim, because Rakim, to me, changed the flow. Everyone was in this kind of square thing, and he, I don't know, changed the flow. Like, you could rap over anything, and to me, it opened the door more. There's so many great ones. I mean, you can't not include KRS-One, right? But
of course, right.
Then you're going to say, who are you? Are you going to leave out Nipsey? Are you going to leave out Kendrick Lamar? Are you going to leave out, I can't have a top 5. I can't. And there's so many young folks that are really good and people that are good for different reasons. So what about you, Miles? You do that top 5, top 10?
I like more to ask people who they listen to the most.
Right.
But no, I can't have a actual top 5, because then you start looking at accolades, you look at talent, you look at
record sales.
Record sales. You
Impact,
look at
Tupac. In that era, Run DMC. But would they make your top 5 now? But they open the door for everybody. I mean, it's like that's why I don't want to do 5.
And then you look at somebody like me. I'm a deep hip hop fan. I can tell you who's the most lyrical, bar for bar, word for word. And it's like, are they really as successful as somebody who you would put up against?
When you get into word for word, bar for bar, you have to include Nas in that. No, you don't think so?
I think you can. Top 5, you can put Nas.
I don't have
there.
a top 5. I don't believe in top 5, but because I think your point is a really good one. Like, it's who are you listening to, and who I'm listening to in 2023 is not who I listened to in 2022, 21, etc. It's a feeling.
Well, I mean, but you can though. In 2023, you have the option to listen to whatever you want to listen to.
Right.
Though. So it's not. You're not stuck to the radio or stuck to what.
No, that's
popular.
true. Yeah, thank you, streaming. I mean, that's the one upside of it, even though it's ripping off all the artists. But I mean, still, am I listening to who I'm listening because it's something new that I really like because it's new? But does that make it top 5 of all time?
No, but I mean that makes your top 5 relative though. For why you listen to music. Like what I'm learning too with streaming is how different people, especially the kids, are actually enjoying and listening to music. They're not listening to it how we listen to it to really lock in and get that feeling from it. It's more of a background music kind of thing for them, And I feel like, I listen to music. I still listen to a lot of Tupac. I listen to a lot of Lil Wayne. I listen to a lot of Jay-Z for the feeling that it gave me, for that nostalgia, for the energy that it gave me then. So, but that can make my top 5 be a lot more skewed compared to somebody who goes off of just sales or success.
Right. So. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and again, it's a mood. I mean, one day I might, I could be listening to any of those folks you named. I probably, if we're just going, I actually listen for motivation and stuff. I do listen to a lot of Nipsey Hussle.
Mm-hmm. A lot of Nip. He has no new music dropped the last few years. So
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, Ed, what were you about to say?
I was like, the question is, it forces you to learn and forces people, because we engage in the debate a lot, whether we want to or not. We're always talking about who's tops in hip hop. We're always talking about who's tops in basketball. The Jordan, LeBron, Kobe debate. But what it forces you to do is to study the art form so that you can actually hold the debate, right? You can't throw somebody out and not know their material and be able to argue to it. That's what I like about the debate. You're right. The top 5 is relative. Everyone is going to have something different and for different reasons. But the conversation about it can go on for hours and hours. And it's nail shop, it's barber shop, it's wherever we are. I find we're always talking about it.
Well, I mean, and I'm just thinking when you say that how hip hop has influenced basketball and football,
vice versa.
Yeah, and vice versa. What's the saying, Miles? Ed, all rappers want to be basketball players and all basketball. Yeah, exactly.
Now, what I will say, though, I don't think that we can have a legitimate top 5 debate, but I do think that we can have a GOAT debate.
Oh, man, I don't know about that. Because it's like having a basketball GOAT debate. Because what's great in this time with you're standing on the shoulders of what everybody else did. You know, what they did in basketball back in the day, they were doing without, you know, the training and technology that we have today.
It's still.
Who's your GOAT?
I think it has to start with Mr. Sean Carter, Jay-Z. It has to start with Jay-Z at number 1.
Oh, Lord. A lot of people say that. You know, okay, I'm not going to debate that. I mean, are you going by sales? Are you going by industry impact?
Everything.
All right. You agree, Ed?
Absolutely. Look, there are 2 pictures on my son's wall. One is of Barack Obama and the other is of Jay-Z.
West Side. That's all I got to say to you guys. Yeah. West Side, California love. West Side. Yeah. I'm outnumbered over here. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominic DePrima when we come forward.
Glad you could join us on this Friday. It's August the 11th. I'm Mike Moore. Now, here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A white supremacist who allegedly threatened jurors and witnesses in the trial of the Pittsburgh synagogue shooter has been arrested. Federal agents on Thursday arrested Hardy Lloyd of West Virginia. Prosecutors say Lloyd sent threatening letters and emails to witnesses and jurors in the trial and described mass shooter Robert Bowers as a lone wolf hero. The highlight of New York's 50-year hip-hop anniversary celebration happens tonight with a star-studded show at Yankee Stadium. Hip-Hop Live at Yankee Stadium will feature hip-hop legends Run DMC, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, Lil Wayne, and Wiz Khalifa, along with local artists. Gates open at 4:30. Performances get underway at 6. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. At Blindster, we offer over 50 different custom window treatments, including faux wood blinds and shutters. Save big at Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A special weekend coming up for former Lakers star Pau Gasol. Gasol will be inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame on Saturday in Springfield, Massachusetts. Gasol played 7 of his 18 NBA seasons with the Lakers. The 6-time All-Star helped the Lakers win 2 NBA championships. Joining Gasol in the Hall of Fame class of 2023 is Dwayne Wade, Tony Parker, Dirk Nowitzki, and San Antonio Spurs coach Greg Popovich. The Lakers will play the Denver Nuggets on the opening night of the NBA regular season. Opening night for the NBA is October 24th. The ACC is having second thoughts about adding Cal and Stanford. The revenue potential of both schools and travel distance are major factors in the discussions. Cal and Stanford will need a new conference in 2024 with the Pac-12 disintegrating. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey LA, are you feeling the heat? LADWP has rebates up to $225 on new air conditioners to help you beat the heat and save money. Plus, you can sign up for level pay to get predictable monthly bills for easy budgeting. Stay cool. Visit ladwp.com/cool-LA. That's ladwp.com/cool-LA.
What does access mean?
Access means owning a home. Access means growing my business.
Access means building generational wealth.
No matter your goals, U.S. Bank Access Commitment Programs and initiatives provide the tools and resources to help you reach them. Access your financial goals at usbank.com/access. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
motion.
Hey, I am Jasmine Carson, LSU Women's Basketball National Champion. I had to up my game, and this time I upped my intimate grooming routine too. Venus for Pubic Hair and Skin is the only razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area. Featuring a razor with a patented irritation defense bar and a skincare regimen that is dermatologist tested, Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Visit GilletteVenus.com to learn more about the full regimen of products.
Are you looking to steer your career in a new direction? Driving for the Culver City Bus can be your ticket to a long-lasting career with excellent benefits and paid training. Culver City Bus is looking for customer service and safety-minded bus operators to join the growing team. Culver City Bus offers on-the-job paid training, uniform allowance, and health benefits. Culver City Bus are now even putting their money in your pocket with a one-time $2,500 sign-on bonus. Let us connect you with an essential service job. If you enjoy driving, seek real opportunities for career advancement, and passionate about making a difference in your community, and we invite you to join the team. Start your journey by submitting an application at culvercity.org/job. For more information, visit culvercitybus.com or call the live customer service operator at 310-253-6500. Again, 350-253-6500.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you and the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's just a public service announcement sponsored by Just Blaze and the good folks at Rockefeller Records.
Fellow Americans, it is with the utmost pride and sincerity that I present this recording as a living testament and recollection of history in the making during our generation.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho, H to the O-B. I used to move snowflakes by the up. I guess even back then you can call me CEO of the ROC. Ho, fresh out the frying pan into the fire. I be the music biz #1 supplier. Fly it in a piece of paper bearing my name. Got the hottest chick in the game wearing my chain. That's right, Ho, not DOC, but similar to them letters. No one could do it better. I check cheddar like a food inspector. My homie Strick told me, dude, finish your breakfast. So that's what I'ma do. Take you back to the dude with the Lexus. Fast forward the jewels and the necklace. Let me tell you dudes what I do to protect us. Shoot at you actors like movie directors. This ain't a movie, dog.
Now, before I finish, let me just say, I did not come here to show out, did not come here to impress you, because to tell you the truth, when I leave here, I'm gone, and I don't care what you think about me, but just remember, when it hits the fan, brother, whether it's next year, 10 years, 20 years from now, you'll never be able to say that these brothers lied to you, Jack.
They ain't lie, I done came through the block and everything that's live.
KBLA Talk 1580, that's Miles' birthday walk-on music. Hip-hop birthday, Miles' birthday. Jay-Z is your GOAT. Who's your GOAT? 800-920-1580. Your walk-on music, your GOAT, your era. Yeah. I'm not going to argue with that. But, you know, when you start talking about top five, I mean, I'm walking, you know, and I'm going to do something real quick, and I'm thinking about all these people, you know, how do you talk about greatest ever without talking about game changers? To me, you know, they might not always have a big the biggest body of work. Like Tupac was only recording for 5 years. He actually has a lot considering how, or even, you know, Nipsey, they're only recording for so many years, but they changed the game. I mean, I feel like Outkast changed the game.
Yes.
Brought in a whole new era, which where we are right now wouldn't even be possible. Like, so how do I just don't know how you can leave a lot of folks out when you talk about greatest of all time.
Well, they all tell the story, right?
Biggie, we haven't even mentioned Biggie. A lot of people would be I'm not even gonna describe what I see, but these are all people that define an era, or they changed the game, or they left this incredible impact, right? NWA, shoot.
Yeah. I think that, but it's just like Ed was saying with basketball. Like, we get to a certain point where it's like, yeah, but then there's Jordan. And then there's LeBron. There's only a select few that really encompass every aspect at a almost flawless, otherworldly level. And I think that Jay-Z may just be the highest one up there, on all aspects.
Okay.
Got the flyest chick in the game wearing my chain. Come on now. Let's give him credit for that.
And again, I don't claim to be an expert on the NBA either, but I think about someone like, I think about the older guys, like the Oscar Robertsons, that we don't see all the footage. We don't know how they changed the game. Can a Kobe exist? Can a LeBron exist without Bill Russell? I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I think that it's hard to compare one era to another. The shorts are different, the moves are different, the paychecks are different, the training, and you're building on the moves that you have. You're building on the prior generation, just like in hip hop.
So here's my question. I feel like, let's say you stripped away everybody in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Would the first person you start with be Oscar Robertson? Would it be Bill Russell? Let's not say Bill Russell. Would it start with the first person to lace them up and start playing like the real pioneers, or do we start with who?
Well, the first ones to lace them up are, all white guys who probably could leap, 12 inches. I'm just guessing. Right. But it's just like people talk about the WNBA is not as exciting as the NBA, and I'm like, but the NBA has been perfecting those moves. They've been trained. They've been, they have this legacy to build on. For how many years have they been investing in that athletic talent? I think if you look at the WNBA, in another 20 years, even if you look how much more exciting WNBA is compared to when it started.
Right.
You can't. Ed, you're a sports guy.
Yeah.
I don't think you can compare it. Yeah.
No, you can. But like you got to figure out what's the story you want to tell first, right? And that's all. That's all it really is. Like, even if we're talking about like Black history, like, do you start with Frederick Douglass or do you start with Martin Luther King Jr.?
I start with Imhotep.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Even
who invented medicine, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You
have
question.
a first story, and that first story is the foundation on which you tell your love for an art form, whether it be basketball, hip hop, African American history. That's how it goes. And all you're doing is laying out the order of importance to you in that art form. And it'll be different. We keep saying it'll be different from person to person.
Yeah, I guess, and what you value, right? Is it the most triple doubles? Is it innovative moves? Is it just entertainment value in the game? Because that's the thing. It is entertainment. It's the entertainment business.
Points, wins, championships.
Leadership.
For sure. The type of person you're talking about. They got to be a leader off the field,
And I feel like we could say the same thing about hip hop. Are we talking about how much money you made, your lyrical prowess, how much you innovated the game? Did you start a whole genre? Like, that's a thing. Mm-hmm. That's why I never want to talk about top five. I would talk about top five this hour. That's the Gemini approach to life. What am I doing? You mean, what am I doing right now?
You're ducking the question.
No, I'm not ducking the question. It's just a rotating. Have you ever seen those picture frames where you have digital photos just coming up? That's my hip-hop top five. And every minute, it's a different five.
So if you had your own report card like that, Dominique, I think it'd be real fun to see who really makes the criteria of your top five. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it depends on, doesn't it depend on mood? Like, sometimes when I'm fired up, I want to hear a certain kind of hip hop and when I'm feeling, I mean, shoot, Common is amazing, Guru is amazing. Like there's so many people we haven't even mentioned that we won't mention, and I don't know.
It's not that they're not great. It's not that they're not great. They have great careers. They're memorable. They're legendary. They're not top 5. This is what it is. Most people are not going to put them top 5. But Common and Guru are tight. They're well represented in my playlist. But,
Would you take Common and Guru over Drake, Dominique?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah, and I love Drake. He's always in my playlist. I play a lot of Drake. But Drake is not, to me,
Drake's not higher on that top 10,
I mean,
top 5 list.
it depends on your criteria. He sold more, right? Yeah. By a lot. I think he sold more than mostly everybody. I mean, right? Even people that aren't in hip-hop.
Making a strong case for Drake.
He has kind of popularized a certain style, not that he created it.
Innovated, yeah.
But he definitely is an innovator. But, for me, consciousness has to be in there, and he gets a 0 on that.
Okay.
And that, to me, you can never be top 5 if you're not helping to liberate black people.
But
you don't
can
get
be
to
higher than sales and all that if you're conscious.
For me.
Okay.
But that's just me. But do I listen to Drake all the time, especially when I'm working out?
Okay.
I don't know. It's like back to what Ed said, depends what you celebrate, right? I celebrate lyrical prowess, and I like to like the music, and I also want you to be conscious. Yeah, that's part of my criteria.
This is like hip-hop therapy digging through the brain of Dominique.
Lord. I mean, obviously, you put him in your top 5.
I wouldn't say Drake in my top 5 at all. I wouldn't say that. But I say he's knocking on the door.
He gets an asterisk, right? Like you gotta account for him. You gotta account for him, and he's not. I put it this way: like he's not truly out of a top 15, but his numbers. You're
oddly specific, and he's top 15.
Right. Look, we've had this conversation a lot. It's hard. Drake is one of those guys. I mean, just sort of the Disney Channel origins and all of that. But at every turn, he's doing it right.
But most rappers that I know do not like Drake. I mean, if they're being honest, most rappers hate on him. I don't know if they're hating because he sells so many records or because women like him, or I don't know what it is, but most rappers I know. So good for you, Miles, for giving him credit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like too. Like I grew up with Drake, and I've seen from the early evolution of lyrical Drake to this, Michael Jackson-esque type of stardom. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's
an
amazing run as a hip hop. Like Biggie said, who'd have thought hip hop would take it this far?
Yeah.
And I think Drake's like the shining example of that. So
I'll give you that. I'm not hating on Drake. I just top 5. No. KBLA Talk 1580. I don't even have a top 5.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look, and unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at the gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Wake up, people. You are optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids, to work, to friends, and everything in between. You have to get sleep. And a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movement. Learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better. Night after night. Sleep next level. Only from Sleep Number.
It's the biggest sale of the year. Save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Plus special financing ends Monday. See store for details.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Be ready for extreme heat in your area. On days when extreme heat is expected, take action to keep your home as cool as possible. Set your air conditioner to 78 degrees. If AC isn't available, close blinds and curtains on all windows and run fans counterclockwise. Or find your nearest cooling center. Transportation help may be available. Learn more at heatreadyca.com. Brought to you by the state of California.
On a Mission Youth Travel presents the 2023 Morehouse Homecoming HBCU College Tour, October 25th through October 29th in Atlanta, Georgia. Open to high school students grades 9 through 12. For more information, please call 323-298-4779. Again, 323-298-4779. Students will tour Morehouse College, Spelman College, Clark Atlanta University, Alabama State, and Tuskegee University. Email info@onamissionyouthtravel.com. Again, info@onamissionyouthtravel.com. The HBCU tour price includes all meals, transportation, round-trip airfare with one checked bag, hotel accommodations, all museums, college tours, and admission to the Morehouse versus Kentucky State University homecoming football game. Spaces are filling up quickly, so call today to sign up. 323-298-4779. Again, 323-298-4779.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, so I got a list of all these serious stories that we were going to talk about, but this is more fun.
This is better.
Yeah,
this is more important.
It's more important. I never thought. You know what? I'm not going to say that because I remember when I had got the job on home turf. Every year, management would come back and say, you know, this rap thing is going to die down, right? Maybe we should back off of it because the show is really like based on hip hop, and this is in the 80s. And every year they would say, oh, it's going to go out of style. You guys should go more pop. You should do something, you know, rock and roll. And to his credit, John Fromer, who created the show, who's a white guy, he also was a progressive. He was always like, nope. And I always agreed. I didn't think it was going to go away, but I'm not going to lie and say that I thought that hip hop would take over everything the way that it has. Fashion, other forms of music, dance. It's it's in industries. So many different industries now are touched by, people got their own liquor, they got their own cologne. I mean, I didn't see all that coming. Did you, Ed?
Interestingly enough, I mean, I was at Howard in the early 90s, and in maybe 91, 92, there was a hip-hop conference, and it was sort of like the first conference of the industry. And a lot of artists, producers came back to the campus and had conversations. And, while I'd be lying to you to say we could have seen and envisioned all this, there were definitely conversations about the future. I think one thing you learned about hip-hop, particularly as African Americans, I think we learned more about business through hip-hop, just generally, broad strokes, right? You watch the contract beefs and I can watch Ice Cube and NWA, and you learn about, the need for legal representation necessarily and the need to, study what's in your contract. You watch how Wu-Tang Clan came forward, right? They came together independently to form a collective, all shop their deals. Wu-Tang did big, but then each individual artist got its own deal on different labels. There's so many different sort of business stories that you learn in hip-hop, and, it's almost like a working man's MBA, just watching the industry. And then from it, to your point, a Nas with a Hennessy deal, a Puff with his own, liquor. Those are sort of the inevitable piece that we're now seeing that I think for our young people, they have a good grasp of how to market themselves, what branding means, and how to capitalize on it, all from watching hip-hop.
I mean, and there are so many artists now, Miles. I mean, so many artists.
I mean, I was about to say on the flip side of it is, how now it's cool to want to be a rapper.
Right.
There was a time when, like, I'm from the era. I've just turned 29. My dad used to tell me rap is a phase. You're not gonna be a rapper. I ain't raised no rapper. You ain't no rapper. This ain't gonna be you. You know what I mean? Like now there are kids who can Google how to be a rapper, can YouTube how to be a rapper,
right, that's
and
true.
through every tool at their disposal create a rap career that the people we're naming right now in our top 5 would have dreamed of having.
Yeah.
So
right.
to see, the deals and the progression of hip hop, but to see how it's taking this water form, you know what I mean, and really becoming whatever you make it to be, and it's incredible to see. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Where's it going to be next? Who knows? How can we predict it?
Anywhere and everywhere, right? I mean, breakdancing is coming to the Olympics.
Right, exactly. What?
I used to be the rapper for the San Francisco Ballet breakdancers. The San Francisco Ballet had breakdancers. King Tech was one of those breakdancers.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, oh, this is a form of dance. Well, we should support it. And they had the guys taking ballet lessons and also performing at different venues, classical and non-classical. Like we opened for New Edition one time, which was really, really dope. But anyway, but never would I ever have guessed it would be in the Olympics.
The Olympics.
That's like, there's just no way. I would have laughed. But it's going to be exciting, right? I think it will be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will be.
I don't know about that.
You think it's going to be corny?
There's something about hip-hop that we as African Americans really feel like it's ours.
Right.
And while I enjoy seeing it on the global stage, I don't really enjoy watching the rest of the world practice an art form that's sort of rooted in our oppression. So, like, if you tell me that, this cat out of Italy is going to win the gold medal, who's judging it? And are those judges, born of original hip-hop? I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, I get you that the whole ADOS, the MAGA black people have started this thing, a fight really about who created hip hop, and they're fighting with some Latinos who are saying, they created hip hop, but the fact of the matter is, and then, the Jamaicans say, well, it's really Jamaican, and the fact is we're all standing on the shoulders of Africa. The whole call and response, the syncopation, the rhythm, the tradition of the griot, that comes from Africa. So y'all can fight all you want to. The root is blackness. And I remember seeing a lot of Latinos and Asians doing different things, but there was never any question that it was a black art form. But I do feel like people are questioning that now, and that's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's absurd. And it just is what it is. I suspect I will have to mature a bit, but I'm always going to keep it with an Afrocentric lens.
Mature out of not wanting to give credit to the originators of something? I mean, how do you mature out of that? Mature out of not appreciating cultural...
to a point where I can actually see the art form with somebody else performing it.
What's the line between cultural appropriation and celebration? You know what I mean? Me and one of my relatives have an ongoing joke that there's a farm somewhere where they're creating these particular type of rap artists that are,
Well, we have it all the time.
That are not black.
Eminem. Where's Eminem in the pantry?
He's not. Is he in your top 5?
He's not in my top 5, but I acknowledge Eminem. But he's right. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he's a conversation piece.
I mean, I acknowledge him too. I think I think he gets extra points because of being white. I think people make him GOAT a lot because he's, one of the white people in the game that blew up first.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to battle rap him, but yeah, no, I mean he's. I think he's talented. I think he's got a lot of skill, but I just.
He's got skill. He's got dad jokes.
He
also is hella corny sometimes. Some of his rhymes are hella corny dad jokes too. People are like, ooh, that's clever. Really? Okay. I don't know.
Renegade.
You know that. You weren't expecting anything different.
Renegade.
He smoked Jay-Z on the track.
Yeah. Yeah.
A track does not a career make.
I'm just saying, he rhymed with Jay and he killed. Yeah, Renegade.
All right, y'all.
Killed Ja Rule's.
Wait, look, Dominic, before we get out today, we didn't even touch on female rappers.
I know. Well, because
female rapper.
I mean, I have a lot. Right now it's Sampa the Great, but I always going to give props to Roxanne and, Latifah and the early innovators, the trailblazers, the lights. Yeah. What about you? You've got to hurry up. We're late.
I'm Latifah and Light.
Mhm. All right. Well, Ed, thank you for not talking about politics with me today. We got news
traffic. We talked about hip-hop politics.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, it's time for news, traffic, and sports, and a great time to call me 800-920-1580. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Glad you could join us on this Friday. It's August the 11th.